we are back. Thank you very much for waiting, everyone. We have just got the next stream game ready. We are starting round 2 for the main players now. And then also we're going to be doing the stream timer on a separate timer. So that's all good. But yes, we are getting ready for our second round now. So we're going to take you through the deck lists. I'm going to make sure I press the right buttons here because yes, there we go. So 2 Exos at the moment. This is Log Horizon. Brian playing Log Horizon here, or One Tremia, or Miyu-san, I think he called himself. Or Miyu-ne-san, I don't know. Something like that. But basically, he is playing Log Horizon with the power-up set. So he's running the power-up set combo level 1. I can't actually remember his name, but it's a gain 500 reveal character and on attack if you've got the climax reveal top, if it's a trait character out of the hand. Nothing that special, very similar to the Dear My Sister level 1 combo on the door, but this is on a pants. Also looking at the level 3 Cat's Key from the actual main set, which is a standard on attack against power and when on reverse burn one. So it's a pretty slow deck. It runs the change as well, but it doesn't actually run the level 2 that changes into it. So he is just going hard into the level 3. Obviously making use of the Shiro, the anti-hit, the anti-burn on the level 0. Oh wait, no, he's actually not playing the anti-change, the anti-burn. I do apologise. He is playing the level 3 anti-burn. That's the one I meant to say. As well as the original Great Performance or Bodyguard, the Natsugu. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like, Log Horizon is one of those decks that doesn't do anything outstanding, but the stuff it does do is, you know, pretty alright. And, you know, I think when it first came out in the power-up set, it was actually a deck to be, like, considered. But that was in Japanese, what, nearly 7 years ago now. So it's a little outdated given the current meta. Before I quickly transition over to Chris, I realised I have not got your microphone linked up, so give me 1 second. Hello everyone, everyone is back. Go back to here. There we go. Chris, after you, we are moving on to Rich's list on Idolmaster Million Life.
Yeah, so this is Rich's Million Life. He's got some of the new tools in it from the latest set, so there is some additional things into here. But one of the big things that we'll have to watch out for is how much Rich realizes that he's not going to rely on his finishing combo, which is currently one of the standbys on attack, deal 3 damage, which is obviously going to get turned off big time by Log Horizon. Luckily for him though, he does have the 3/7 event from the original Million Life set, which will allow him to deal the damage either way because it's not from a character, which is what the Shiro actually physically says. Other than that, he's just got the ability to generate loads of stock. So I think Rich's main plan here is use all the utility that Million Life has to it, which is the large amount of them that the utility that Million Life have, the fact that a lot of his power and finishing power is going to get turned off other than with his 3/7 event, his ability to play out characters early will make him just hopefully manage to get a couple of those 3/7 events off and push that final bit of damage that he's going to need for the game.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, the interesting thing here will be, you know, how does Rich, you know, go around not using his level 3 combo and optimizing his output on the event. And I think that's very much what we're going to plan to do here. Like, Rich is a very seasoned player, and, you know, he knows his matchup here, so I think he's not going to have an issue with that. Now, the stream game has already started. They're already about 1-2 turns in. Because we did an announcement on time and didn't clarify that it wasn't the stream game. So we're going to jump straight in, and we're going to get these guys starting up again. So let's jump over here, and let's get the guys start. You can carry on, guys. Thank you. Okay, so we're back now. So at the moment, we see that Rich has just taken the situation to go to level 1 here. Hololive. Log Horizon only on 0-4 at the moment, damage-wise. And
yeah, the pressure that Brian's put on here quite early is quite good for him. I think he wants to, just because due to the age of his set, he's not got as many utilities available to him to try and keep that pressure throughout the game. So any early damage that he can sort of push out greatly helps him in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, again, any sort of advantage that Brian can get here is just big. So it'll be interesting to see how Rich responds to this. So he brings out the level zeros, which are if you have another music character gains 3,000 power, so makes it 3/5. And also on attack, if you have a climax in the climax area, any climax, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a level 1 higher, send the stock. So it's a massive stock generation deck. It's a very rich mead deck, should I say. He loves the stock gen deck, so when he's going against a deck that isn't running any form of stock swap, he just laughs. So there you go, hitting the level 1 on the reveal, and then triggering, so it's going to start generating stock big time here. Another cancel by Brian.
Yeah. The other good thing there for Rich is the fact that he had 2 copies of the level 0 Chihaya, which is on climax place of that specific climax, turns it back to hand and gives something twin drive, and it's the twin drive, it's not even the standard A1 twin drive that we see.
Exactly. So you see there, he's now already got 7 stock in his first turn at level 1, which I'm assuming is only turn 1, turn 2. Turn 2, turn 3.
Sorry to interrupt, but you still need to change the name on both sides.
I do, thank you very much. I will do that now. I'm glad someone's on it.
The other effect of that, the ability to come in, look at top and keep on top or I think it's top or bottom. It might be top or waiting room, but the ability to manipulate that deck, especially with the level 0 that he's trying to combo it with, allows that stock generation just to go through the roof.
Yes, absolutely. And for those that know Rich, one of his old decks that he used to play a lot of was Kimono Friends. Again, a very heavy stock gen deck. So it's very much his style of playing as well. So it's interesting to see how Rich has built this and how he optimizes this.
I think Brian will be very happy that he's still at level 0, even though he 5-fielded last turn. Hopefully he's still got some form of playable in his deck, in his hand as well.
Yeah, because the question here is, being at level 0, what does Brian do here? Has he prepared himself for level 1 expecting to level? But cancelling twice that last turn just means that he's got level 0s and he'll just have to spam. He's probably, he's already looking at actually level 0. Something Chifuyu, I think her name is, or Chikawa, something like that. The climax offer, I believe. The climax. Sorry, the recording. The climax, ditch climax, salvage a character, as well as the on direct attack, choose a character, give 1/5. So he's not obviously going to get that effect. There's going to be no direct. Trying to brainstorm, hits one on the brainstorm as well. Does give him a solid search here. So again, giving him options to play a level 0. There you go. There's the Nyanta.
That was one of the biggest things that actually got off that power up set, was that searchable brainstormer.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that before that it was still running draw brainstorm was not great for it.
Yeah, and the fact draw brainstorm was the brainstorm to use, and it was like the draw brainstorm was massive, and obviously the power up set is coming to English about 4 years too late, but it'll be interesting to see, does anyone actually pick that up? There's the Nyanta. The Nyanta is getting an extra 1,500 power at the moment, but as soon as he attacks, unless he pays the stock now, it will go straight back down to 2/5, because at the point of doing damage step, he will have 3 in stock and therefore go back to 2/5 power.
I don't think Brian's that worried about that.
No, I think he's just going to be here. Again, the character's facing are just 500 as well. I was saying that I think the Nyanta is facing the level 1 here, unless he moves things around.
I think the other thing that he was quite good is, I think he just saw him get the Marielle.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, there's
which
the
will
Marielle.
increase which is one of the greatest things in that set. Just the deck speed that it gives you, plus the ability to actually just generate stock out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's actually a crazy good card. It genuinely is.
Brian deciding only to mill 1 though, instead of doing the other effect, which is that you could mill the top 3 as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at the end of the day as well, I think here Brian is literally just going for the soul push here, slamming down the door. Obviously no combo with that. Attacking, triggering the pants, giving him a pants combo back in hand, which returning with a cancel. Solid attack for 2 here. Again, just trying to push that. Rich says no again.
But we might just see Rich cancel all this going by the fact that he was at level 1 when we joined the game. But yeah, Brian quite visually frustrated there by triggering a second climax for the turn. Deciding not to opt to grab anything, obviously just trying to keep as many going back in for
absolutely.
the refresh for the 5 cards left in deck.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so at this point, Brian's probably, he might have one in there. It's, you know, I think it's unlikely here. I think I'm assuming Brian's probably 5 or 6 out already. So Rich could take an opportunity to try and progress, but being an 8 standby build, he's not able to push Soul. So, you know, what will that end up entailing? This actually might work out in Brian's favour quite well, the fact that Rich just can't push damage.
Yeah, at least Rich has that ability to give out Twin Drive, which it allows him to push that damage as well, even though he's not gaining that soul for standby. And it is one of the big things that people seem to not think about when they're playing the standby decks, the fact that generally you're not pushing as much damage as your opponent is, if they're not playing the standby as well.
Exactly. So here's the standby again, doing the standard effects. Again, reutilising those level 0s to just constantly keep trying to plus stuff and get through his deck. Playing the level 2 back row, the JC that basically makes any card a 3k backup in his hand. So, you know, his character's going to be 3/5. The 3000 power bonus is cross turn as well. It's not just during his turn. Making these level 0s 6/5 if he decides to use the backup effect. But the great thing with the JC as well, it's also got a hand on court on itself. So he can send it from stage to waiting room, basically turn any character in hand to a 3k backup. And then he discards a character from hand to encore it to be able to reutilise that effect again and again. I think this card is actually really good in Iron Master, and I think it's overlooked quite a bit sometimes.
Yeah, and it's not even just the hand encore effect. It does get in itself ridiculously big. Gains 2k power for each of your other music characters on attack as well.
Yeah, so if you want to bring it out, it is just a solid 11k beta. It's a very good card. And again, you see Rich just massively plussing on his stock again.
Unfortunately for Rich, he doesn't seem to be really hitting any soul triggers here.
There we go. There's a soul trigger. There's one. Not hitting soul triggers. Hitting soul trigger.
It's not the most ideal position for it to be, being the first card on the Twin Drive, but I don't think he's going to complain here swinging.
No. Oh, and that's interesting. So it's brought out the level 0 assist, which basically gives all of these level 0s in front of it 1000 power. So again, that means that those level 0s that are being supported by that, with the backup of the level 2, basically makes them 7500 as level 0s. And given, you know, I can't, like, when's the last time we saw level 0s get that big consistently?
And it's just one of the amazing tools that IMAS has. It has great utility 0s, and then it's got this card on top of it that just makes those utility 0s just have that pressure throughout the game. The ability also, it's one of the great things that he's done by bringing this out, is the fact that he can additionally play this and put it into the waiting room to the top 4 next turn. That one card closer to taking out that climax.
And the thing that amazes me as well, again, that sort of, you see those sort of cards and go, oh, in that case he must be running a lot of level 0s. Actually, he's only running the 17 level 0s in this deck. Obviously, to be able to progress off the level 0 to gain more stock. It's a really delicate balance, and Rich is known for his really weird build, but I see this working. I think this is really, really interesting.
Yeah, and he's at level 1. He's not really got that many playables outside the level 0s. I think he plays 4 copies of a level 1.
Yes,
and that's it. So everything else is level 2 or higher. So everything just now is standby targets.
And again, it's all about getting that stock to be able to use that 3/7 event. That's his entire game plan. And then also to play his level 3s as required if needed. And in this matchup, I don't think he really cares.
No, I think he'll play early play if he is able to, considering the utility that brings as well. It's not.
Sorry, I mean the combo. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I think that'll be the only level 3 we'll maybe see him play as his early play. It's true to the fact that the utility gets that on level 2. It's a 4 or more early play, so it is very easy condition to meet. The fact that when it comes to play, he has 2 options there. He can either look at top 3, add 1 to hand, or he can deal to stop.
Yeah. It's
just the
a
ability
start
for that.
bit, yeah. The fact that an early play's got 2 different effects, so it's basically similar to the I think it's the Kokoro from Precon, where it's got a similar effect where you can choose 1 or 2 effects on player. Again, being an early play, that sort of utility is transforming how early plays are designed nowadays. Where you see these common early plays, early play healers, early play stock healers, early play top X. That would be the expected. But now to see the early play gain 4K and you opponent can't back into events, those are your common early plays. So to see these early plays that are now utilising 2 of those effects is a big sign of the development of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember back to the day when if you had a 2 or less climaxes in waiting room early play, you were laughing because that was normally at the point when you were refreshing. For the 2 or less early climax was the best one. We had the 5 or more as well, but they barely saw play. But when we brought out things like the 4 or more characters, that early play condition just completely transformed the game and allowed us to play those early plays in a lot more decks.
Yeah, absolutely. So, actually, I think Rich is actually letting these level zeros go here. I mean, the level 1 on attacks, it's only getting to, I want to say about 7,000. So it's not getting massive. Like, Rich could respond to this a little bit, but deciding not to. I assume that will be because, he's going to have access to his waiting room next turn. Doesn't refresh a climax though. So I assume that he's going to have access to his waiting room if he wants to recycle those, or he wants to try and start slowing down on that so he doesn't overcommit his stock. But I feel in this matchup, I don't think Rich cares to overcommit to stock here because, Log Horizon does not have a stock swap. So
yeah.
as long as it's not burying climaxes too deep, I don't think Rich minds here.
No, he's only got that one in just now from what we've seen, which is only 2 down, so he's very easily able to get that next turn. And the ability for the level 1 as well to call out the level 0, he might be relying on that as well. So it might just be a case here where he moves the 2-1 up,
the only thing
kills off the level 0, and then is something to get out 1 more stock, and then just swing with the 2-1, a level 0, and a level 1.
Absolutely, and I think in this situation as well, so it's using the level 0s to pay 1, sack itself, top 4. Again, another great utility card. Another use of
the level
card.
1 there.
There we go, there it is.
So what we'll probably see is this, they're moving up to the 2-1, play the level 1, grab a level 0 for free, well, not for free, but by discarding card from hand.
Yes.
And then just using his control of the top of the deck, plus the ability to generate the stock.
Absolutely.
From drives here.
Yeah. And there we go, there's the level 0 coming from the level 1. Quite straightforward there. Also seeing the level 0 back row, which is another climax combo on the leader climax, which is this one right here. And it's just a straight up bounce the hand and give the twin drive for free. So again, trying to really generate stock here, maybe try and get through his deck a bit as well, given he might be through a few climaxes, considering that Rich is at 2-6 here, whereas Ryan's only at 1-2. So real big advantage for Log Horizon at the moment, which wouldn't be expecting in a normal match.
Yeah, we might just see Rich obviously relying more on that the ability, the fact that he's going to have that finishing power still, even with the anti-turn on the field.
Yeah.
I think Rich also just maybe had asked Brian if the Natsuko was seen anywhere, so that's why that's on top of the waiting room just now, which is it's worth and relevant. Again, one of the things that Rich will know because it's an open deck format is the fact that there is that's the single copy of the Natsuko that Brian's playing. Yeah,
absolutely, and I think here as well, going back to the level 3 here, I think it's bringing that out to again utilize the witch effect, which for those that don't know the jargon, it's during your opponent's turn when damage dealt to you isn't cancelled, you may look at the top card of your deck and either keep it there or get it to waiting room. So basically it lets you dig through an extra card for your deck, or if you see a climax you leave it there and you just guarantee the cancel. So I think Rich again trying to look for ways to just stay alive as much as possible.
Yeah, I think he's got to take everything he can at this moment, just not because he's that uncompressed, but just because he's that far behind. Yeah,
absolutely. And the advantage of that, which as well, again, most sort of effects like that tend to have to be in front row, whereas this one is anywhere on the stage. So that's a massive advantage here, that he doesn't have to commit a front row space just to guarantee that effect. hitting another standby here, playing over the level 0 naturally. Another witch.
Yeah, another thing that you might even be thinking about is the fact that he's going to get use of this combo likely in the following turn.
He might do as well, yeah, because again, Brian isn't level 3, so the level 3 Shiro, the anti-burn, isn't going to be in play, so Rich can actually make use of the level 3 combo.
Yep. I think Brian will be quite happy though, just seeing those 2 climaxes come out right at the end.
Absolutely, yeah. But it has let Rich set his board up.
And Brian cancelled, I think, a couple of those as well, by the looks of it. So Brian is definitely, he's done his prayers and the cancelling gods are with him.
He is currently blessed in some way.
I wouldn't be surprised if just off to the left, Brian maybe has a shrine to the cancelling gods.
That's what we all need, right?
I could definitely use it more in my games.
Okay.
So Brian has actually managed to generate a bit of hand just off of the last turn because of the fact that Rich hasn't killed off those 2 characters there. So if he has the climax, then he's going to generate even more, but even without that, he's got basically a full field as soon as he plays 1 character. He might even just move the Mariel up. That might be the play that Brian does just to keep the hand even more.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Going into the following turns. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because again, you're still swinging with a 6,000 power level 1 combo into the middle row. I don't think you care about losing the other one in this situation. I think you just go ham anyway. And again, you don't care about leaving characters there or not, because the level 3 combo that Rich is running, obviously it's an on attack combo, not on reverse combo, so it's irrelevant if he decides to keep things there or not. But the fact that Brian's taking a bit of time to think here, maybe he hasn't got the combo set up. I assume he might be considering a brainstorm here to get through his deck, or does he know his all out of climaxes and, oh no, he's going for the clock here to let it, okay. So he's contemplating whether it's actually worth decompressing himself going into the refresh.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that, and he was probably trying to work out what his chances were of if going the climax if it's still in the deck, get the combo off.
Okay.
Now I don't recognise that card off the top of my head.
Yes, that's the mine. I think her name is. I can't actually remember. But that it's a level 1. Oh, it's the level 2. Sorry. It's the when this card's battle opponent in reverse, choose a character in your waiting room and return it to hand. And if you do, it's the anti. It's a anti-change slayer. That's the important. That's the important thing here. Yeah, that's the important thing here. It's anti-change slayer. I think that it's good. It's good. It's good. However, the level 3 does have hand on core.
Yes, he might just be looking to eat a wee bit into Rich's hand.
Yeah, I was going to say it is still eating a bit of a resource for Rich there, making him commit.
Oh, so he done the effect there of the 2-1 and actually pay 3 on the board.
Yeah, I think it's to get those climaxes out before the refresh. That's a very clever move. Yeah. Rich has got enough stock to play around with.
Yeah.
So to be able to pay that 3 out during that step before the damage occurs, to get those climaxes out before the refresh is very big here. This could actually save Rich. The 1 does stick, putting Rich to level 3, putting another climax back into waiting room now, ready for the refresh.
I was trying to count there how many climaxes Brian had, but he clicked through slightly too quick there for me. Right. Brian just reading the card to make sure it is actually going to do what he thinks it does.
Yes, yeah, it is indeed a anti-change slayer.
And he's actually he'll take the salvage as well, I think, off of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there you go, going for the level 3 Akatsuki combo.
Yeah, I don't think we touched on that really, but the fact that Log Horizon's finisher is also a burn combo.
It
requires the reverse.
It is also a burn combo, but he does require the reverse. But again, if he's running the Shiro, then it doesn't matter too much. I think in this matchup, Brian definitely want to prioritize the Shiro if he gets pushed to level 3 quick. At the same time, though, if Rich is on 3-4, 3-5 in his final turn, Brian may decide just to not play the Shiro just to actually get the burn combos off. The only downside as well, though, is that obviously Rich is level 2. Basically makes any card in hand a level 3,000 power backup. is that going to allow a reverse? That's the big question.
Yeah, that is one of the things, especially with Rich also has a level 3 back row that he might play as well further down the line. Just both 3 or even more, because that is one of the big things that you have to deal with Lock Horizon, especially if they have that bodyguard, as that bodyguard can be sitting at 16,000, 18,000 power, which is not a small feat, but is definitely a lot more manageable these days than when Lock Horizon first came out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over that.
Absolutely.
I know for a while one of our local players, he played Lock Horizon when it first came out, and I'm having to play 3 smiling while doing push-ups playing Love Live just to get rid of the bodyguard was not a small feat in itself.
No, exactly. And I think Rich is simply going to be playing level 0, getting his top check, and going to be playing the climax, I assume, again, the leader climax, because the level 0 in the back row and the level 3 do combo off the same climax, I believe. It's the same as the leader climax, so he'll get to massively plus on that, giving the twin drive to the level 2, spawning up level 1 here.
That's an interesting spawn, but then looking at his discard, I don't think he had much time.
Yeah, so he might not have much, so he did just refresh. Taking the twin drive first, very nice. Cancel. Brian cancelling again. Wow.
Yeah, especially when he just reduced the amount of climaxes by the last card in his deck being the climax.
Burn freeze on though, and a swing for 3 here. Cancels the 1. Oh my god, Brian. I'm going for the burn 3 again. Burn 3 cancelling. Oh. This is interesting for 2. If this cancels, okay, no. So if that cancelled, Brian could have been in a really awkward spot.
I don't think Brian would be in as awkward a spot as we think he'd be, especially for the fact he could be level 2. Sure, he's maybe set up for his level 3, think he's going to hit it, but he has got two characters already on the stage that he can just move up to swing with, play that third just to put damage through. Seeing at level 2, not having to clock himself up or anything like that. Yeah,
that's fair enough.
The one thing that this has done, however, is sort of bring Rich back into the game.
Absolutely.
He has now brought the damage in line, and even got the use of his level 3 combo, which I don't think he was expecting as much to get.
No, no, exactly. And I think in this situation now, I think Brian's really got to try and go ham here. But the thing is, Rich is going to be pretty compressed. I think Rich must have at least 8 to 10 stock, like at least, if not more. He's constantly been doing twin drive. He's got, looking at the cards in deck, 5, 10, about 17 in deck, roughly. I'm expecting there to be, I don't know, I want to say at least 5 climaxes in there. So Rich is pretty compressed here. But we all know compression is a lot. So it could still go either way.
I would assume that in theory, Rich has probably about 6 in deck. We obviously don't know if he drew into the climax that turn or if he had it in his hand from the previous turn and he only refreshed the 7 in. But I think he's still in a pretty good state here.
So the anti-burn Shiro has come out. It's come out in the front row at the moment, which is interesting. I assume he's going to move things around. Getting the top X from the top X from the Katsuki from the power up set.
Yeah, it's like we keep saying it, but the amount of cards that this deck got off of the power up set
is actually crazy. Like it actually made it viable. Like because for those that don't know, Log Horizon only got a trial deck and an extra booster. They didn't even get a main booster set. So there's a lot of it didn't have a massive card pool, and at the time it was released, it was just outdated and it was just missing certain things. And the power up set did wonders for it in the time when it came out. Which is I know a lot of people, obviously in the English format when Hot Log Horizon came to English, they was going, oh, we'll get the power up set too, right? And then 7 years later, oh, here it is. Was it 5 years later or something like that? It was a long time.
It might actually even be, it'll be about 7 years probably by the time it comes out. I think it was 2000. Came out.
Yeah, when it actually comes out. Yeah, no, we don't talk about Bushy Road delays here.
It got access to that Katsuki, the Brainstorm, an actual level 1 combo, and before it was just sort of playing blank climaxes almost.
Yeah. It was just playing like a blank book.
Yep. Just trying to keep some sort of hand size, everything like that. And the scary thing is that the tools I got back then, it can still see play today. So we might even see a resurgence of it in the English meta.
I think so. I genuinely, again, the anti-burn is big. And like that card in itself is big, and that with the Nautsugu as well is also, that's something that can still do things. Like bodyguard, a 16/18/5 bodyguard is still something to be reckoned with for most meta decks. You know what I mean?
I think bodyguard just in general it's one of those underutilized sets. The only ones that really ever saw use of it before Lock Horizon came out was Little Busters.
Yeah,
that was the only set I can think of that really used its bodyguard, and even then, its bodyguard was nowhere near as good as Lock Horizons was.
And then even then, that was then overshadowed massively by Albuta, which really saw how bodyguard could be used, utilizing the standby and pushing yourself in the right way to just have your back row assists, and again, big bodyguards. Rich eating 2, getting the scry, taking another scry. Getting rid of 2 other characters here. Oh no. There we go. I was sitting there going, oh no, Rich, not like this.
Probably not where he wanted to see it, but he'll take it.
I think here he's just like, you know what, this is fine. Not taking the encore for the level 2 there. I think at this point now, I think Rich is just trying to use his events. He doesn't really mind too much about his level 3s now, because again, they're not doing their burn damage. They are just going to do vanilla swings. He could still technically pay cost.
I don't think he will with the way his board was set up. He's got that third character if he needed it, feeling that he's likely just going to grab. I think that was the early play there, to try and do some things, and then just play the event. The event that we're talking about, just in case anyone wasn't aware of what a Million Lives event is, it's a 3/7 event, so it costs 7 stock in total. So that's one of the reasons that Rich has gone for this heavy stock generation build. And he can't play it if he's not got any red characters on stage. He discards 3 cards from his hand, and if 3 cards were discarded in this manner, he can perform the following action 3 times, which is just deal 2 damage to your opponent. And because that's coming from the event and not from a character, it gets around the Shiro.
Yes, because the Shiro's effect is specifically you cannot take damage, or players cannot deal damage from characters' auto effects.
Yep.
And also events aren't classed as autos either, so it wouldn't matter in that sense anyway.
That's the other thing. I remember when Anti-Burn first came out, there was a bit of confusion about whether shot was an auto effect based on the character or the player.
Yes.
Which one that was, and there was a bit of flipping and flopping on which one we were actually dealing with there. But luckily nowadays it's quite clear that it's not on the character.
Yeah. Oh, we have a mascot. I think that was Ilya. I don't know. I'd assume Ilya. But it seemed too blonde for Ilya. Sorry, not too yellowy blonde, not white. For those who don't know, Brian goes by One True Emiya and he is a massive Fate franchise follower, I guess is the right way of putting it.
Probably one of the very few people that actually understand the NASA version.
Yeah. Oh god. There's not many of those around, trust me. Yeah, he is fully committed to that. Rich is rearranging his stuff now, so the things that Rich has got to be aware of, obviously the Katsuki on the side has got a bit of extra power. But look in here, Rich didn't have the event.
Oh
Which no. That could be a big problem. I know there's at least 1 in stock. And he is running 3. So maybe he just got unlucky. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, look at my stock. Look at my stock, and my stock is amazing.
Yeah, I think he was trying to work out what he wanted to bring out there, and just had none of the targets he actually wanted to bring out, so he's decided to obviously bring out the 2-1.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Rich get another trigger though, but obviously Brian did get the first cancel. I did turn myself up. Oh no! I need to turn myself up more apparently. God damn it.
Yeah.
Another cancel? Wow. I mean, Brian would have known that there were so many climaxes there.
Yeah. I'm now wondering if Brian actually doesn't have a shrine and is actually just rented out an apartment complex to turn into the shrine. The amount of cancels he's getting here, but I'm sure Brian is he's been playing for a long time, so I'm sure he has in some way not to take any benefit away from him. He'll have done certain things over the course of the game to try and make it sure that he was doing this.
Absolutely.
Maybe not as much as I think he actually is doing, but I'm sure he's done some things over the game to make it a bit easier for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I think Brian has really made the most of what he's had. And I think, he's done that very well. And I think that at the end of the day, that shows in how the game has gone. I don't think the things that were transpired, I genuinely don't think is Rich's fault. Again, he's just been unlucky not seeing the cards as he's done it, as he's needed them. He got rushed to level 3 very quick in comparison to Brian here. And it's just been one of those, dare I say, it's been Weiss. It's we always say it as a joke, but it genuinely is, that is the case.
I think there's always a fine line between calling it just the game and players playing well on the amount of cancels that happen. There is obviously always an element of that control that a player does have over their deck, especially after the first refresh, which is why quite often we see that the guy climax on turn 0 be as effective as it can be.
Exactly. It really is a matter of every card game's got their own luck to it, don't get me wrong, and there is an RNG element to every card game. It feels a bit more apparent in Weiss for sure, but there is still a high element of skill, a high element of high requirement of understanding statistics and on the fly statistical analysis to be able to determine your deck state and your probabilities of surviving and things like that. It's a very mathematical game in that sense. Whereas the likes of say Yu-Gi-Oh, it's very how much can you remember this combo and how much do you remember of ways of igniting that combo. So it's two very different skill sets.
Yeah, and one of the things that players also I think take for granted a lot of the time, and you see it more maybe in the Japanese meta compared to the English meta, due to the variety of sets, but is that card knowledge as well. And Rich and Brian will have that card knowledge up there. Between the two of them, they're very knowledgeable on what other sets do, which is a large part of playing Weiss as well. Is setting up and making sure you're not giving your opponent what they want to do.
Absolutely. It's they say Weiss is a game of little interaction, and I disagree with that massively. I think the interaction occurs maybe not during your opponent's turn as much, but your interaction is over a longer period of time in terms of managing your resources, understanding your opponent's resources, and taking turns and making actions based upon what you're aware of your opponent's resources. And that's what makes this game so great, in my opinion. It's a totally different way of thinking. Now, here come the attacks. So Akatsuki coming in, standard 2 damage, no trigger on the attack. Rich really needs to get some good cancel. I think, ironically, he probably wants to cancel here. Let this one stick, and then maximize on his witches here. There is time on the round for the stream game.
Yeah, I think so. That me sticking is ideal. So yeah, that those 2 scries of the witches just means that he's going to cancel. So he's guaranteed now cancelling one of them. One by the actions there from Rich to keep one of them on top. I doubt that he would keep one instance of damage that can get through on top. Yeah, the fact that he's going to now cancel one, it's down to the last 3.
Excuse me. Oh, it's a Shinku doll. That's what it was. Okay. Oh, Rich now on 6. If anything, I think this is kind of I mean, Brian is only swinging for 2 here. So this could, I don't know.
The fact that Rich hasn't been able to see the top one off this one, because obviously if he had, he would be dead.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
The fact that he's not being able to see the top just makes it a bit more
squeaky bum time.
Yeah, that'd be the phrase.
Oh, it does cancel on the 2 though. Oh, Rich is alive. Oh, unfortunate for Brian there, but yeah, Rich surviving here. This is the spice of Weiss. This is where it's at.
And, resting the Shiro, which I think it's plus soul and attack, or is it minus soul for the opponent? I'm trying to find the card.
Sorry, what you thought? The next soul on the. Wait, we're looking for the effect given out from the Shiro. Yes.
Yes. So
yeah, during your turn.
Rested,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, pay 1 rest this during your turn. When another of your character's battle opponents become reversed, if this is standing, you may pay the cost. And then if you do, choose one of your characters in battle, and that character gains the following ability until the end of your opponent's next turn. The character facing this gets -2 soul. So yes, it is a -2 soul that's been given to the Akatsuki on the side. So I think Rich is just going to run into that with his again, no event cancels, of course.
And the negative soul does a lot more against Rich's deck than it would do against a lot of other decks. Just
Correct.
purely on the basis that any climax play does not plus soul at all.
Yeah, absolutely. The first damage sticking for a while, and that's no damage because of the next soul, even with the trigger. So Brian on the return swing here. I'm surprised that Rich didn't decide to, I suppose at this point here, if damage sticks, Rich dies, so he doesn't really care about the witch here. He just needs to not die. And this is turn 2 of overtime now already. So this is Brian's last chance to make damage stick to try and take the win for the guaranteed.
Yeah, there's even an argument if Brian cannot find a heal, is it worth him just passing?
There is an argument.
Comes down to damage.
Okay, so playing the level 0, the cellular. Yeah, no, it's not cellular. It's the the Izuzu. The on play, pay 1, ditch 1, search 1. So it's just a drop search, basically here. Getting the Nyanta 2/1.
I wonder if he's trying to compress down for soul triggers to try and maybe.
I think so. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense here. Yeah, and trying to
he's just going to play over it.
Play over it and try and do 1-2-2 here. I think it's a very clever move here. I think it's just explaining the situation to Rich now and seeing what's coming up. So, I mean, Rich has got enough climaxes in deck. Rich could survive. Oh, interesting. So he's going for a 2-2-2 here.
So one of the reasons for this is that it's actually likely to be a
one.
Because the Nyanta can bring something up as well.
Oh yes, of course he can. It's yeah, during beginning of climax phase you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's characters, stand that character and move it to an open position. So it's brought forward that the back row.
Which cancelling the 1 though.
Ooh. So swinging here direct this time though for 3. The 3 cancels. And swing for 2. Does Rich survive? Oh, he does! Oh, he does!
Oh, well done, Rich.
Oh my word! The goddess has betrayed him. Oh my word! Wow.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Brian very carefully playing that though and still giving the -2 soul to the Nyata.
Yeah, I'd say absolutely right thing to do. And wow, that's now the thing here is though, how many cards has Rich got in deck? You know,
I think he's got enough to survive this turn. But
again, by the looks of things, Rich has not got the event. I think all of his events must be in stock. They must be. There's no other reason why Rich wouldn't be playing them here.
Rich maybe deciding if he wants to bring out a level level 0 here.
I think just trying to think what his choices could be that would be relevant. Like that's a character. I'm just looking to see whether there's any way where he might be able to like dig through his stuff a little bit just to get his events.
I think the only thing he's really got an option here is to try see if he can get maybe another 2 soul.
He's got the yellow on play, pay 1, ditch a character, top 3 out of card. That's if there's one in deck. But the fact that Rich maybe isn't doing that, I'm saying that also that level 0 is a 1-all, so again that could be stuck in stock. That is the problem of having, you know, like single copies of cards in a deck which generates a lot of stock. If it gets buried in stock, that's it. You are very unlikely getting that back. So you have to, you know, remember what text that you do run, which of those go to stock, and therefore which options become unavailable to you.
I think Rich just really needs to maximize his damage this turn.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a winner. Win or don't win effectively this turn.
Cancels the 3. Ryan does cancel the big attack. Still saving for 2 though. 2's on.
Okay.
Rich needs a trigger.
Only for 0. Still for 0.
Still, oh yeah, because of Nexo, of course. Yeah, of course.
And
and Rich will die to refresh.
Yep.
Oh wow, that was a game. Jesus. Wow.
Yeah. Rich showing there that you had 1 in stock, so the other 2 must have just been hitting the discard at the wrong time.
Yeah, just unlucky timing. So if Rich had seen one of those events, it would have been game over. But unfortunately, that was not to be. And Log Horizon surprisingly takes the win, putting him on 2-0 for the moment. So that's it for round 2. We will take just a moment just to prepare for level round 3.